she went out on her own goodwill, and she offered to pay the rest of the bond.
But you called her to bail you out.
Plaintiff Lacheya Edwards claims she bailed out her boyfriend, and then he got another girl pregnant. She's suing for $703 for bail money. Defendant Rakiem Caldwell claims his ex is only asking for money because they broke up. He says he owes her nothing.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
This is case number 023 on the docket, Edwards versus Caldwell.
We have the plaintiff, Ms. Lacheya Edwards,
Yes.
and you are suing your ex-boyfriend, Rakiem Caldwell,
Yes.
for $703 for an outstanding balance on a bail bond.
Yes.
Go ahead.
For the record, can I just say that I've known Rakiem for about 11 years. Me and him actually have a son that's 7 years old.
Oh,
I
great.
did submit pictures.
Son? Oh, there he is.
Yes. We recently broke up last year, June, due to the fact of him stepping out on our relationship and getting someone pregnant. Last year, Rakiem called me. This was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. He called me stating that he got locked up and he needed me to bond him out. I was kind of hesitant at first. I had to be at work at 7 o'clock that morning, but I went, called the bondsman. It took about an hour to process him and bond him out. It cost, at that time, I had to pay $750.
Okay.
I paid $600, debited my account, which I have the evidence that I paid $600, debited my account, and $150 in cash.
Okay.
Rakiem did give me $600 the following day to pay me back the money that I spent at that time towards his bond.
Got it.
However, the rest of the balance, he told me not to worry about it because that once the charges dropped, that he's not going to have to pay anything.
Were the charges dropped?
No, the charges weren't dropped. He was guilty of the charge.
What were you charged with?
I was charged with reckless driving.
Did you serve time for it, or?
Nah, I didn't serve no time for it.
What was the bond amount?
It was $15,000, I believe.
Okay, the bond amount was $15,000, and normally with a bondsman, you then need to pay 10% of it.
Yes.
So that would be $1,500.
Correct.
And so you paid $750.
Yes.
And so another $750 was owed to the bondsman.
Actually, the remaining balance was a $702.
Okay, so it was a little less. What part of that do you disagree with?
Basically, she went out on her own goodwill, and she offered to pay the rest of the bond.
But you called her to bail you out.
I hit her up. I was like, hey, I'm locked up. Explain my situation to her, the bond.
She came down at 1 o'clock in the morning because she got a call saying that you, the father of her child, was locked up. So she did bail you out.
We're in a relationship together. You know, I did things for her. She did things for me.
Were you two together then?
Yeah, we're living together.
When you're talking about cash, that's a significant amount of a cash withdrawal, use on my credit card. That would seem to most people you ask on the street, yeah, if somebody bails you out, you give them the money that bailed you out, otherwise you're sitting in there.
She wasn't sweating it until we really separated, and then she started acting like a bitter baby mom. You know, straight like that, like a bitter baby mom.
Our relationship wasn't like that, where, okay, I'm going to pay $600 for you. I have 2 kids that I have to take care of.
Who's paying the rest of the money?
The rest of the money, I actually got sued from the bond company for the rest of the money. I actually came to him. I actually texted him, which I have messages here, stating that the bond company was suing me. Exhibit L. There's a whole thing where I texted him and told him, I told you he told me, I told you if I got to pay it, I'll pay it.
And that's because she was on my back.
You got locked up. You were reckless driving. I was not reckless driving.
Then
I came to him and I tried to talk to him. There was a payment plan of $100 a month that I was supposed to pay. I got it down to $35 a month and told him that it's only $35 a month. Why don't you pay that? He told me he would pay it.
You trying to play me? I ain't say all that.
Okay, well, you did say in this text, I told you if you got to pay, I'll pay it.
This same bond company that's actually suing me
Yes.
because they know that I have a job, sued him 2018, but never got anything from him because he wasn't employed.
Okay.
I look at it like situations like that where she chose to bomb me out. I could have stayed in jail for another night and got PTA and the case dismissed
But
or
you
whatever the
called me.
procedure was going to be. So I just called her because me and her at the time, we was living together, we was going together, and I basically wanted to let her know where I was at. You know what I mean? Because a lot
At
be
1,
going
2
on in
o'clock in the
Hartford.
morning and you don't work, okay.
And I wanted to let her know where I was at and what happened in the situation because we was together, so I felt like you should know
Yeah.
what happened. And I told her, hey, you know what? This is what happened, and this is what my bond is, and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. And she chose to sign that agreement on her own, just like we was doing, you know what we was doing, you know what I mean? And she was cool with the simple fact of coming through for the kids. So I never asked, she offered that.
You
I
accepted
offered-
She
it.
came through for the kid,
Your Honor,
and that
can we
was
go
it.
to
You-
Exhibit M, where I messaged him and I said, I guess it is what it is. We're both gonna get sued then. Rakiem said, which court is it from? I'll go to the clerk's office and pay.
Like I said, that's because I was getting off my back. Every time I hit her up to drop off some clothes and some toys, she always was talking about, hey, where that money at? Where the
get
money at?
me
Where the
off
money
your
at?
back for a debt
Bitter
that
baby
you owe.
moms. I'm trying to handle my business and drop off clothes
The
and
last time you
toys
gave me
and
money for your son
like I
was in
said, bitter
January,
baby mom.
$50.
Nah, you trying to
$50
play me.
gave
Stop
me in
trying to play me.
January.
You know.
There's no trying to play you. You gave me $50 in January for your son, but you're trying to do what you have to do. No.
I just bought some clothes last week. Just last week, Yana.
Okay, you bought clothes last week. The last time you gave money towards to help was January for your son. You don't call me and ask what he needs. And that's not even
I
why
don't know
we're
what you're
here.
spending.
We're
I don't
here
know what
for
you're
this
spending the
debt
money
that
on.
you owe.
And the simple fact is that I'm saying that I said that to get her off my back. And I'm gonna pay it back
So you
because
said
I'm trying to do what I'm
numerous
supposed to
times,
do.
numerous
and,
times.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to be a
have
father.
Exhibit K that I
Okay.
can read numerous times. If it came down, didn't I tell you, if it came down
Okay.
to it, I'd pay it.
All
I
right.
never asked.
Okay, I'm not saying this isn't important. I'm saying it's not what this case is about, okay? This case has only one question. Does he owe you the $703 remaining on the bond debt?
I told her that I would pay because I was trying to, you know, do my responsibilities as a father
Yeah.
and call her to drop stuff off that I was buying. So with her always saying, you got to pay me this money, that's exactly why I was like, all right, you know what, I'll do whatever the case may be. But she signed them documents that I never asked her to. She offered to sign those
You
documents.
called me.
I called you because we was in a
and begged me
relationship.
because I was the only option, the only call that you had. If that was the case, you would have called someone else to come and bond you out at 1, 2
I
o'clock in
never
the morning.
asked you.
But
You
you
offered.
didn't.
Okay.
And then the next day, you gave me the $600. So if that was the case, why'd you give me $600 the next day?
Because that's how I'm supposed to come through. I'm supposed
So
to
you're
as a
supposed to
man
come through now
in a
and pay
relationship.
what you
All
owe.
right.
You know what I'm saying, y'all?
Okay.
I'm supposed to do that.
Okay. From your point of view, you're thinking, hey, give me a little space here because I did this for you or whatever. But even if everything you're saying is morally correct, even if you had been great to her through the whole relationship, did wonderful things to her,
I was
even if
handling my business. I was
Okay.
doing the whole 9
Working?
yards.
even if you were, what I'm saying is, on this particular instant, this is a debt that you need to repay her for. She paid to get you out of jail that night. That is very specific. It doesn't have to do with anything about weighing how these 11 years that you two have been off and on have been. It has nothing to do with you guys having a son together. It has nothing to do with how you bailed her out of tough issues. If this is an expense that she specifically paid and is now being sued for or payment demanded by the bonding company, it is perfectly reasonable for her to turn to you and say, you were the one that went to jail. I paid for this. I can't afford to pay back. You've got to pay it. Now, you can then discuss what happens with all the other things that have gone on between you two. What she owes you if you think she owes you for something. But on this item, I can't say you don't need to pay her back when the evidence is clear that she paid your bond. So I fine for the plaintiff in the sum of $703.
Thank you, Your Honor. People will look you right in your face and lie to you when they really know the truth.
She did something out of the kindness of her heart at that moment. And when it came to me taking care of my responsibilities as a father, she was always bringing up this moment. And I think it was just a retaliation tactic because we broke up.
I would never help him out ever again in my life.